You cannot set limits on anything. The more you dream, the farther you go. Michael Phelps. Limits, in the end, often do not lie in circumstances or abilities, but are quietly built in our own thoughts. When people draw boundaries for their dreams, they simultaneously shrink their wings, accepting to fly low, even though the sky remains vast. On the contrary, dreams are like guiding stars. The farther you set them, the longer the journey. But it also opens up more new horizons. Those who dare to dream big do so, not because they are certain to achieve everything, but because they understand that the process of pursuing dreams will pull them out of their comfort zone, forcing them to grow, become stronger, and more profound each day. Dreaming is not mere fantasy, but the wind that lifts the boat of life beyond the still waters of mediocrity. When we allow ourselves to dream further, we also allow ourselves to learn more, strive more, and embrace challenges with an open spirit. Humans are not born to live within narrow frameworks, but to explore their own infinite potential. And when the dream is big enough, the path, no matter how long, becomes worthwhile, because every step is one closer to the best version of oneself. The illiterates of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Alvin Toffler. In an era of constant change in knowledge and technology, it does not deny the value of traditional literacy, but expands the concept of illiteracy to a deeper level, the stagnation of thinking. In a world where knowledge changes as swiftly as a current, clinging only to what is already known is like standing still in a raging stream. Those who refuse to learn close themselves off to new opportunities. Those who cannot learn fear mistakes and change, and those who cannot relearn are bound by ego and old habits. They are like travelers carrying an outdated map in a changed land, getting more lost the further they go. Conversely, the ability to learn continuously is the bright eyes of modern humans, helping us see clearly how the world moves day by day. Learning is not just absorbing new knowledge, but also the courage to discard what is outdated, daring to renew oneself. When people know how to relearn, they become younger in thought, more flexible in action, and freer in choices. Knowledge is not a trophy to display, but a stream that must always be refreshed. Only by maintaining a spirit of ceaseless learning can humans truly escape the darkness of the new era's illiteracy and walk steadily on the path of long-term development. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will. Vince Lombardi. A quiet but enduring lamp shining into the depths of the human journey. Hidden behind the simple words is a sharp truth. Success is not a gift reserved for the smartest or strongest, but for the most persistent. Physical strength may fade with time. Knowledge may become obsolete if not honed, but will, once ignited, is like an ember's smoldering flame, burning more steadfastly against the wind. In life, we easily encounter people with all the favorable conditions, but who give up at the first difficulty. While there are those who start late, empty-handed, but with iron will climb step by step to the summit of their dreams. Will is the anchor that keeps the human boat from drifting amid waves of doubt and fear. It helps us stand up after falling, continue walking when the path ahead is foggy. The difference between success and failure, and it instills in the reader a positive energy, a gentle but powerful reminder. Forge your will like steel, for when will is great enough, it will guide strength and knowledge to their rightful place. And then, success is no longer distant, but the inevitable result of an unyielding spirit. Wisdom is not the product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Albert Einstein. Wisdom does not lie neatly in the books read, the degrees earned, or the lessons completed, but exists in the process of lifelong, ceaseless learning. If learning stops at the school bench stage, it's like a lamp, lit only briefly then extinguished. Lifelong learning keeps that flame burning, sometimes brightly, sometimes smoldering. Wisdom is formed from experiences, from collisions with reality, from mistakes that hurt, but also deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world. Each fall is a lesson, not in any curriculum. Each listening is a class without blackboard or chalk. Wise people are not those who know everything, but those always ready to learn more, relearn, and learn from anyone, any circumstance. They are like a river, ceaselessly receiving water from all directions, becoming deeper and wider because of it. It liberates humans from the pressure to know enough early on, while encouraging us to live with an open, humble, and curious spirit. When we accept that wisdom is the result of a lifetime of learning, we won't fear being slow, won't fear being late, but only fear stopping. And in that journey of learning without end, humans gradually become profound, calm, and truly wise. Wisdom doesn't consist in answering all the questions, but in asking the right questions. Unknown. In life, we often admire those who can give quick, fluent answers as if they hold all truths, but in reality, the ability to answer is only the surface. The depth of wisdom lies in the moment when humans pause, reflect, and pose a question right on target. A right question is like a key opening a hidden door, helping us see the essence of the issue instead of wandering in a maze of scattered answers. Wise people understand that not every question deserves an answer, and not all knowledge is meaningful if it doesn't serve deeper understanding. They are like guides in the fog, not rushing forward, but patiently determining the direction before advancing. Asking the right question requires humility to admit what we don't know, courage to doubt what seems obvious, and subtlety to touch the core of the problem. It is such questions that propel thinking forward, spark creativity, and open new horizons of perception. It liberates humans from the pressure to always have answers, while encouraging us to live slower, think deeper, and question the world with an awakened mindset. When we learn to ask the right questions, we not only draw closer to knowledge, but also to understanding, where wisdom is not ostentatious, but enduring and quietly spreading. Open your mind. Look at everything from a different angle. Unknown, the mind, if narrowed by old beliefs and fixed perspectives, will be like a room with closed windows, safe but confined, familiar but lacking light. When we expand our mind, we not only receive more information, but also allow ourselves to breathe deeper in the multidimensional world of perception. Looking at everything from a different angle is like turning a diamond in your hand. The same object, but each facet reflects a unique beauty and meaning. What was once seen as failure can become a lesson. What once caused hurt can become material for growth, and what was seen as difference can turn out to be unique value. People often suffer not because of circumstances, but because of how they view those circumstances. A new perspective can soften judgment, pave the way for empathy, and awaken dormant creativity. Expanding the mind is also an act of courage, as it requires letting go of the ego, accepting that our way of thinking may not be complete. But in that openness, humans become more flexible, profound, and free. The world is larger than what we see, and humans are greater than what they limit themselves to. When we dare to change our perspective, we not only see the world differently, but also see ourselves with more possibilities, more tolerance, and more hope. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Dalai Lama. Happiness is not a gift placed ready on the table for us to simply reach out and take. nor is it the random result of luck or circumstances. It is like a small garden, blooming only when humans take the trouble to plant, care for, and patiently wait. Many people tirelessly seek happiness outside, in money, status, others' recognition, only to be disappointed when those things do not bring the fulfillment they expected. Turning back to oneself, where happiness is created from very specific and everyday actions, a positive choice, a kind deed, daring to let go of resentment, or simply appreciating what we have. Happiness is not noisy, but accumulated through small actions, like drops of water steadily filling an emotional vessel. When humans actively live meaningfully, know how to love, strive, and take responsibility for their own life, happiness gradually forms as a sustainable inner state, not easily shaken by external changes. You don't need to wait for perfect conditions, don't need to become someone else. Just start from your own right actions. And when we act with sincerity and awareness, happiness is no longer a luxury, but becomes the natural consequence of a life lived fully each day. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Mahatma Gandhi. Happiness is not a fleeting burst of emotion, nor a mask of cheerfulness worn to hide inner conflicts, but a profound balance between the inner self and actions. When human thoughts are clear and sincere, words will naturally become coherent and honest. When words stem from true beliefs, actions will carry consistency and peace. That harmony is like a river flowing smoothly, not blocked by boulders of inner conflict, not muddied by falsehoods. Conversely, when we think one way, say another, and do yet differently, the mind is always in tension, like a music piece offbeat, making it hard to feel at peace, even if achieving much externally. Harmony between think, say, do requires awareness and honesty with oneself, daring to face true desires, daring to speak what we believe, and daring to live by chosen values. It is not an easy path, but one leading to lightness and inner freedom. Happiness does not lie in chasing others' standards, but in living fully with oneself. When thoughts, words, and actions merge into one, humans not only feel serene, but also radiate reliability and warmth to those around. And in that harmony, happiness need not be sought far away, for it is already present in every moment we live true to ourselves. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Buddha. People often mistakenly believe that peace lies in favorable circumstances, in abundant wealth, in others' recognition, or in a life without storms. Thus, we tirelessly seek it outside, running from one goal to another, hoping that upon achieving something, the soul will be at ease. But in reality, the more we seek outside, the more easily we tire, for the world is always changing, and nothing can guarantee absolute security. True peace does not depend on how many storms life has, but on how we face those storms within our inner self. It is like a deep lake. Though the surface may ripple with strong winds, the depths remain quiet and steadfast. When humans learn to turn inward, listen to themselves, accept imperfect emotions, and let go of excessive control, peace gradually appears as a natural state. It is not escaping reality, but the ability to stand firm amid reality with a tranquil mindset. It liberates humans from the habit of depending on external conditions for peace of mind. Peace need not be found, for it always exists, just waiting for us to pause long enough to recognize it. When we build inner steadiness, the outer world, no matter how it changes, cannot easily unsettle us. And in the moment we stop seeking, stop chasing, peace quietly blooms in the soul. The happiest people don't have the best of everything. They just make the best of everything. Aldous Huxley. Happiness equates to a life without sorrow. In reality, no one can live without experiencing loss, hurt, or dark moments in the soul. What makes the difference is not avoiding sorrow, but how humans face and transform it. Interesting thoughts are not artificial optimism or deliberate denial of reality, but the ability to view life with curiosity, creativity, and openness. People with interesting thoughts know how to find meaning in experiences, see lessons in failures, and recognize beauty even in the most ordinary things. Their minds are like a vibrant garden where sorrow may visit, but does not dominate the space, for there is always room for exploration, imagination, and inspiration. When humans nurture interesting thoughts, they do not get stuck in suffering for too long, for the mind always has another path to continue. That richness in the inner world helps them perceive life more profoundly, lightly, and colorfully. Happiness does not come from completely eliminating sorrow, but from enriching one's own spiritual life. When we know how to question, observe, smile at life's paradoxes, interesting thoughts will gradually replace prolonged gloom. And when the mind becomes vibrant, happiness is no longer a luxury, but the natural state of a person who knows how to live, think, and enjoy each passing moment. Focus on where you want to go, not on what you fear, unknown. In life, we are easily held back by the past mistakes, old successes, unhealed wounds, or glories that have ended. The past is like footprints in the sand, showing us where we've been. But if we keep looking back, we won't notice the road opening ahead. Focusing on where we want to go is an attitude of living toward the future, where hope, goals, and meaning await. That does not mean denying or forgetting what happened, but knowing to place them in the right position, as lessons, as experiences, not as burdens. People who focus on the destination are like rowers on a river, eyes always on the distant shore, hands steadily keeping the rhythm, even with whirlpools left behind. When we concentrate on what we want to become, energy is channeled into positive actions, instead of being drained by regret or self-blame. Life is not defined by where we stood, but by the direction we are going. Each passing day is an opportunity to adjust the compass, to choose the next step more aligned with our dreams and values. When the mind turns to the future, the heart lightens, and the feet step more steadily. For only when daring to shift gaze from the old path can humans truly approach the place they yearn to reach. Strength does not come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. Unknown. We often confuse strength with achievements, with what can be displayed outwardly: success, victory, superior ability. But in truth, real strength is not that noisy. It is formed in our weakest moments, when life places challenges on our shoulders that seem unbearable. Overcoming our own fears, overcoming failures that make us doubt ourselves, overcoming loss, hurt, and long, lonely nights, that is where strength is forged. It is like steel passing through red fire to become tough, or a pearl enduring grinding to shine. There are battles no one sees, no applause, no recognition, yet requiring greater courage than any victory. When a person stands up after falling, continues walking, though the heart still trembles, they are much stronger than before. Even if the world doesn't know, you don't need to do extraordinary things to prove your strength. Just don't give up in adversity. Don't let difficulties define you, and you are already strong. Strength does not lie in never falling, but in daring to face pain and step through it. And it is those things you have overcome, not what you show off, that quietly create a solid inner force, helping you go further, deeper, and more serene on the human journey.